but I am saying that I gave my word. I said if you put it together and you think it's funny, then we'll do it. Brian Hadad reminds us that this is the weekend in which the Premier League begins, and he wants to preview it. Who am I to stand in the way?
We'll see how that goes.
The can is yours,
obviously,
Brian Hadad. I will, by the way, interject if I have questions. You'll have to forgive me for that
absolutely.
in advance.
So, don't have the technical knowledge of the two Robbies, and I'm certainly not as good looking as Rebecca Lowe, but I will attempt to do this. Rebecca Lowe should be Queen of England, by the way.
She was on with Dan Patrick and was quite funny.
She's funny, she's beautiful, and she knows the beautiful game. So, everything you're looking for. All right. You know, Michael Borky likes to complain on this show about college football. Oh, it's always the same four teams. 4 teams? That would be outstanding. I can't imagine a situation where 4 teams actually have a chance to win. Once again, it'll be Manchester City and Liverpool, Liverpool and Manchester City. 4 teams, I can't imagine how great that would be. It's just going to be these same 2 teams that it's been for the past 7 years. And it'll be Manchester City and again with their enthralling brand of football, passing it all over the place before taking 2 shots in the 90th minute and somehow winning because they have a deal with Satan. They did sign the best young striker in the world, Erling Haaland, because, you know, when you have a team that's nearly complete, you might as well complete it. And so did Liverpool. They went and signed probably the 2nd or 3rd best young striker in the world in Darwin Nunez, a team that says, oh, we don't spend the big money like Manchester City and Chelsea, but here's $80 million for this kid. So they're a bunch of hypocrites as well. Chelsea, new ownership, obviously. Are we here? Do we have questions?
Well, I was only going to question you. You saying only 2 teams have a chance, and yet Leicester City won it a few years ago.
In 2016.
So they were
what are we talking about here?
Not named Man City.
No,
Liverpool.
Chelsea won it the next year, and then since then it's been every year has been Manchester City, except for 1 year of Liverpool.
Okay.
They completely dominate. Chelsea spent about $250 million this summer on 5 guys, which is slightly more than I've spent on 5 guys this year. I like their burgers, but that's a bit much for me. New ownership, obviously. They got the guy from the Dodgers because I can't just have everything, right? I can't just, have a team and cheer for them, and it can't be not connected to this other team that I absolutely despise. But I'll give him credit. He's spending money, which is the key to, NIL has shown us that spending money is what wins games and gets players. It's even more so in the Premier League where you actually buy the players from the team. There's no trades in the Premier League. It's just like, hey, other team, here's $70 million. Can I have that guy? Yeah, sure, go ahead. So Chelsea has done that. Should be they're the opposite of Manchester City and Liverpool. Manchester City and Liverpool are like a ballerina, just beautiful to watch, and the movement's so precise. And then you have Chelsea, which is like a tank. They just run over people. They can't actually score is their problem. They don't have any way to score. Last year they spent $100 million on a striker, and this year they loaned him right back to the team that they bought him from. That's how bad he was. They were like, not only do we not want you on the team, we're going to send you back to the team what we bought you from, and we're going to continue to pay your wages. We just don't want you here. So they'll probably be 3rd or 4th this year, will Chelsea, 20 points behind Manchester City and Liverpool. Yeah.
When is season 3 of Ted Lasso coming out?
I have no idea. I haven't watched the first 2 seasons.
Really?
I don't have Apple TV. I just haven't watched them.
You should get a free trial and watch the show. You'd enjoy it.
I probably should, but I haven't done it. I know I would enjoy it. I just haven't watched it. The other team that'll probably finish in the top 4, and you got to be in the top 4 to go to the Champions League next season. If I had to bet, it's going to be Tottenham. I hate Tottenham. Despise them with every fiber of my being, except that their coach used to be the coach of Chelsea. And I loved him when he's at Chelsea. He's a great coach. He is good enough to get them. They might actually finish ahead of Chelsea. And, they have a chance this year to do something they haven't done in over 50 years, which is actually win something. They have $1 billion stadium. They saved a lot of money on the trophy room, though. There's nothing in it. 50 years of playing soccer, and you can't get one. You can't even get a Carabao Cup up in there. They might actually win something this year, though, so we'll see what happens there. Arsenal is sort of lingering there. They won today, the first game of the year. They won 2-0 over Crystal Palace.
Hey, you can't win them all if you don't win
Arsenal,
the first.
It's very true. Well, no team has ever won them all in the Premier League. Arsenal is the subject.
A long time.
You're not wrong. Arsenal is the subject of a Amazon documentary this year called All or Nothing. Spoiler alert, it will be nothing for Arsenal. They bottle it every year. It's just part of their tradition at this point. If you're a soccer fan and you're listening, you're like, wow, or even if you're just sort of familiar with the sport, like our friend Richard there is, you might be asking yourself right this second, when's he going to talk about Manchester United, the biggest club in the world, and the biggest club in England? Well, imagine if the Yankees or the Cowboys just one day decided, you know what, we've won enough. We're done with the whole winning thing. We're just going to continue to operate and make millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars in profit, but we're not going to be challenging for anything for the rest of our tenure here. That's what's happening at Manchester United right now. And you might be saying again, wow, don't they have Ronaldo, one of the best players in the world? He did everything short of calling the Chicago Fire to get out of Manchester this year. He was linked to literally every big club in the world trying to get away from Manchester United this year. They have a new coach. I like him. I think he's a good coach. But the players there are just bad. They probably will not finish in the top 6 this year. And maybe that's sort of what they need. Maybe they just need to not finish anywhere this year, and they can start, getting some people. Maybe the most despised ownership. No, they're not that bad. No.
Okay.
But they'll finish mid-table.
I have a couple of questions that have popped up on the C Spire text line.
By all means.
Talking about rugby?
Okay.
That is from Jeff in Grenada. This one strikes my fancy. No pun intended. Sorry, not a soccer guy. What is a striker? Sounds like a welding term.
Striker is the guy who plays at the top of the formation. He's your goal scorer. Mm-hmm. He's your Randy Moss. He's the guy you're trying to get the ball to.
Some might call him a forward.
Well, they might call the guys on the left and right forwards too, but I would call them wingers.
Sure.
See, you got to know the lingo there. You mentioned relegation. Obviously, 3 new teams in the Premier League this year. That's from promotion from the championship. You have the guys who won the championship last year. Oh gosh, I forgot who they are.
Wow.
Bournemouth they finished. I did. I can't remember. Oh, it's Fulham. Rhino's going to be mad at me. Fulham is his team. Fulham is a team that's on an elevator, and on the other elevator is this team called Norwich City. What happens is Norwich City comes up, Fulham goes down, and then the opposite happens the next year. That's what's happened the last 5 years in a row. Norwich has come up, Fulham has gone down, and so I expect next year Norwich will be back up, and Fulham will be back down. Bournemouth back in the Premier League after a 2-year absence. Not a whole lot to say about Bournemouth other than they have a great nickname. They're the Cherries. I don't know how you become the Cherries, but that's what Bournemouth is. And then last but not least promoted, Nottingham Forest, 23 years away from the Premier League. They're back this year, led, of course, by Robin Hood, Little John, and Will Scarlett. Nottingham Forest, that's the name of a team.
Forest, jumping.
Exactly. That's the name of the team.
Get away. I love it.
I don't know why. They're not the Sheriffs either. I don't know why. They should be the Nottingham Forest Sheriffs. They are, I think they're actually like the Red Dogs or something. As far as getting relegated goes, probably Leeds, which if you're a Chelsea fan is great because we hate Leeds and Leeds and Leeds and Leeds. If probably, good chance for Everton last year was very interesting. They stayed up by the absolute skin of their teeth. That's who Chelsea plays tomorrow. Big game for Chelsea. Everton's coach is former Chelsea legend Frank Lampard, who got fired during the pandemic and never got to say goodbye to the crowd or anything. So it'll be an emotional moment tomorrow when he comes to Stamford Bridge.
We have more messages on the C Spire text line.
Go right ahead.
And who made fun of me for the Tour de France? Nobody cares but Hadad. Dave and Ripley says, you're killing
billions
me,
of people
Smalls.
will watch tomorrow. That's a baseball reference.
I picked to the eyeball, LOL. Jeff in Oxford says, great job with the Premier League preview, Brian. Go Blue.
Thank you, Jeff. Finally, I knew there was some culture in class in our listeners. Come on, guys.
Is this the fastest 2 minutes in soccer? Asking for a friend. Jeff in Grenada says, soccer. Well, at least it wasn't fake wrestling. Cody and
we can talk about that next.
Arsenal looks like a real contender this year with Jesus leading the way.
Jesus.
Everybody is a winner with Jesus leading the way.
And
it's Jesus.
And that is your Premier League primer.